years back, we wouldn't have been able to do this. And it's a good, bad thing. You know, my culture has been displaced in many, many ways. And it's being realized that there's been 3 generations now to a point where some folks are not literate. Some of the clans are not, bloodline in families are not connected, and there's missing links. But now in our own culture, we're aware of these things, and we're finding with our elders, thank God we still have them that can tell us of our bloodline and who we really are. Standing up, you know, to this Los Alamos National Laboratory, the splitting of life. They split life, you know, and we believe in life is a very sacred thing, or we wouldn't, you know, be talking here and doing this. Our tribal council had specifically stated as a government-to-government relationship that the tribes do not want Los Alamos to continue to be the permanent pit production place. And there's reasons behind it. It's a super volcano. The earth is consistently in movement. Now with these fires that we've had, for instance, north of the lab, the fire burned so hot that the canyon walls were like asphalt, and there's nothing holding the rain back, and we've had like almost 8 flooding events in our village. Now, we have not recovered from that, from the Cerro Grande. We still have not recovered from that fire. And, you know, we're at a very scary time, as far as I can see it, with this next fire, with this last Los Conchas fire. And there's still a lot of anger, and I'm upset, you know, because you turn on the news and there's the emergency, the head fire guy, you know, for the laboratory, standing up there and saying, oh, we're forcing the fire to go north, and we're forcing the fire to go south. And it was all to save the laboratory. But during that whole forcing, our Pueblo had to sacrifice our watershed to save the laboratory. You know, and it's like, okay, I understand, because I know what they have on their property that we had to not let the fire get there. You know, so at this point in time, it's okay, are you willing to have a tribe who's been here for millennium move somewhere else? Where are we going to go? You know, why do we need to leave? Because we don't have any water anymore. You know, our water is contaminated. Or Los Alamos, can you not see the signs that nature has been putting forth? This is not a safe place to have the chemicals and all these things anymore. I mean, it was a profound time, you know, that we were born into. Nuclear energy, atomic energy that happened and was born right here. But it needs to change. It really needs to change. We cannot afford to build a brand new building that's going to house 6 metric tons of plutonium at this time. It's sanity. You know, these earthquakes are not going to stop. The change of the earth is not going to stop. This volcano, it's not dead. Hello, it's asleep. You know, we've got many things to look forward to as far as our earth cleansing herself. And it's in the best interest of all peoples to come forth and to say, we cannot afford to have this place continue its weapons production. We need to honor its power and honor what has happened, but we can't afford at this point in time to continue that mission. And I'm praying. I pray every day for that. Oh my gosh, today is such an amazing day. My father was here, 90 years old, and when he was a little boy, he remembered watching the ladies next door making buwah on the stones and eating it. This was, in the early 1900s, and that was probably the last of the time in our history when the women did our buwah this way. And to have community of people being here this morning and laying the first bricks, and my father laying the cornerstone for this is just a blessed time, a blessed moment. And I just can't conceive that after 4 years of hearing from our ancestors in dream world that this needed to happen, and following it through and being guided and knowing that special people, spirited people have been called and are part of this. And we're just barely doing phase 1, and our next part will be phase 2, which will be the actual kitchen where the women will be gathering. And that's yet to come, but I'm already having dreams about when we gather in our house. And then the third phase will be our greenhouse. Women from 3 villages have come to realize that this is a life way that we as women, the backbone of our communities, need to put back together for our future generations in honor of our ancestors. Buwah Tewha is our woman's bread house, but it's a special kind of a bread. It was our only food source way back in the day, our ancestors' first bread. And we're at a time in our history when we know the last of these knowledges, and we're blessed that we still have women that know how to do this. And it's time that we take those knowledges and teach our young girls and let them get the feeling somewhat of how it must have been back in the day, time of our ancestors, where our house is going to have dirt floors, no plumbing, no electricity, and so our water and our essentials need to be hauled and in preparation. So it's, like I said, we still have that knowledge, and we just need to revitalize it and bring it back alive.